extra card. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know, another card that's never seen play is the Selesnya Blood Hall, I believe it's called. The one from Innistrad that dealt 2 damage.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. If it dealt 3 damage, or if it cost 1 less to activate, it would probably see play.
So if it was good.
Yeah, if it was good. Yeah, pretty much. There's so many cards that I look at, you know, because I'm just like looking at this card, I'm like, all right, well, if it did this, or if it cost 1 less mana, or if it had flying, it would be awesome. You know, it'd be good. Instead, it's just not playable.
You know, Gerard, maybe R&D did that for a reason.
Yeah, maybe. I want to make every card good, you know? I want to open up a booster pack and be like, wow, I'm going to play all these cards in my life. I want a reason to play a 400 card deck.
Yeah, every card in the booster pack in a Gerard's deck.
It's not only good, it's a rare. It's a foil rare. Foil mythic rare. You know, get maximum value. They should have those, like the super packs, where you open up your pack and it's just 15 foil mythics.
No.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That's what you want?
That's what I want. It's like 1 in a million, but whoever gets it is like super happy, you know?
Oh, okay. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know if Aaron Forsyth is at home watching, maybe?
Yeah. They did that with putting Dual Lands and Black Lotus. Do you remember?
Yeah, the Zendikar promotion.
The Zendikar, yeah. So why not bring that back with just something a little different?
Now, I know you like to crack packs. I've never worked with you before, but you're a big fan of cracking packs on camera?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll probably do that this weekend.
Right. Yeah, maybe later, Dragon Maze, we'll see what card we end up picking if we were to draft and stuff.
You know, 1 or 12 times,
depending. All right. 1 or 12, I like it.
All right, so both players are underway here. We see the records on the screen for you guys. Both these players are 1-0. Josh Ravitz is going to start off here with a Farseek on turn 2. Osyp just with a Sacred Foundry, no turn 1 play. Of course, the only turn 1 play for this deck is Doom Traveler, so he does not have that in his hand just yet.
Josh's hand looks really good. You know, land, spells, mana ramp, Garruk Primal Hunter. What more do you really need? And Osyp right here, I mean, what's the best thing you can really do? Cartel Aristocrat? High Priest? You know,
Cartel. No High Priest in his deck list.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have this because he has Sorin. So
he
can play Cartel Aristocrat or he can play Blood Artist. That's
Blood
the
Artist,
best he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, this deck, the Aristocrats Act 2 is a deck that, you know, it slowly gets the ball rolling as it does play a Blood Artist here, and then tries to basically combo kill you as Josh does draw a Rootbound Crag for the turn. Dreadbore's going to take care of that. Osip's going to gain 1. Josh's going to take 1. There's a Rootbound Crag, and he does just pass the turn back.
Okay, yeah.
Keeping Blood Artist off the board, very important.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. You know, you look at it like, oh, it's an 0-1. There's no other creatures in play right now. It's not going to do too much, but it definitely does get out of hand.
And so there is your Boros Reckoner off of those 2 Dragon Skull Summits and a Sacred Foundry, passing it back over to Josh. We'll see what Josh draws this turn. You see a couple Thragtusk over there, I think.
Well, he has, right now his hand is Thragtusk, Primal Hunter, and Huntmaster.
Okay.
All right, so he ends up going with Thragtusk here over Primal Hunter. I think I would have played Garruk Primal Hunter, to be honest, but playing Thragtusk is also definitely reasonable. Maybe he wants to go Thragtusk into Garruk Primal Hunter and draw 5 with it, you know? So rather than, you know, play Garruk, make a token, then he's gonna have to take it from the Boros Reckoner because he won't be able to block. Because A, he could give first strike, or B, he could just redirect the damage.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Osyp is thinking about here. Did you take a look at Osyp's hand, or did you kind of hide it?
He's kind of hiding a little bit.
Yeah.
You think, you know, someone who does coverage would try to help us out a little bit here, but no, just mean guy.
I actually think about that. You know, when I play, and I'm like, all right, I'll show the camera my hand. Why not?
So here's an Isolated Chapel. There's a Falkenrath Aristocrat.
Okay.
So he's coming across for 4 in the air here.
Yeah. So it turned out really good that Ravitz decided to play with Thragtusk.
Yeah.
Because if he did play Primal Hunter, it just would have got killed by the Falkenrath Aristocrat. So
you do see the Garruk. You see him tapping some mana right now. Is Ravitz.
I think drawing 5 here is going to be really good.
I feel like drawing 5, yeah. Drawing 5 is going to be plenty fine here. So 5 mana for 5 cards. Putrefy, another Garruk, Rootbound Crag, Huntmaster of the Fells, and a Dragon Skull Summit.
So definitely well played by Josh.
So now Josh is going to come across here with a Thragtusk. It is his job right now, Gerard, where he has all these cards in his hand. Jund really gets into a sweet spot when he can play 2 spells in a turn.
Yeah.
It's difficult for it to do because the spells are expensive, but all the spells are powerful. And if you're able to play 2 powerful spells on Jund's level in a turn, it's almost impossible to lose.
Yeah. So I think Osyp just wants to take this damage here. Are you at all surprised that Josh attacked, or do you like that attack?
I think I like that attack. You know, ideally, you know, Osyp is going to untap. He can attack with both of his Reckoner and his Aristocrat. I don't think that Josh has a ton of interest in blocking.
Yeah.
So I think I'm okay with this attack.
Yeah, the only thing is that now with Josh having all these cards in his hand, he wants to make sure he has time to cast everything.
Yeah.
So, but blocking would be pretty bad. I mean, because Josh might just get domed for 5 or first strike again. So
Josh draws Bonfire of the Damned, it looked like, and he put it straight to his hand.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had any interest in miracling that, because, you know, maybe Josh during Osip's turn was thinking, even if I were to draw Bonfire, I'm not miracling it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, how good is miracling it right now anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not that good. And how much would you miracle for?
Yeah.
3, you know? So, all right, so instead he plays Huntmaster, which is definitely good. He's going to gain 2 life and get a Wolf. And Thragtusk is coming in for another 5 points of damage.
You can tell Josh is kind of, you know, it looks like he's very interested in just getting this game over with as fastly as possible. Cut the turns off the game. Don't give Osyp the opportunity to draw Blast on the Sack to Fireball combo Josh out. But you also did see Josh with that 3 mana available representing a removal spell. Of course, you guys know at home, as Gerard and I do here in the booth, that Putrefy is at the ready.
Yeah.
So if it is Blasphemous Act time here for Osyp, it is not going to go very well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Osyp would try for a Blasphemous Act, but I mean, if he does, it's still fine. You know,
yeah,
his Aristocrat is indestructibility. He could, you know, kill Josh's board.
Yeah, it's the definition of fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
So here comes Osyp in the air for 4 more. It's going to knock Ravitz down to 11, so a tie ball game here. Cartel Aristocrat after combat to make sure Huntmaster of the Fells doesn't flip. There's a Blood Crypt for Osyp, and he does just pass the turn back. Putrefy going to target the Reckoner.
Let's see, does Osyp have anything? I see a couple lands in his hand. He might have land, and just 1 spell left.
Yeah, and this is something that we talked about at the top, right? Where the Aristocrats, this is a deck that does not do very well when it draws a lot of lands because it has nothing to sink its mana into. And alternatively, it's kind of a combination deck in which it really needs to just draw its spells in the right order.
Okay, so Osyp sacrifices the board's Reckoner just to sack it.
Yeah. So now Osyp, considering his options, feels like a Tragic Slip maybe here.
Yeah.
He also does have Warzone Charm in his deck. Yeah.
Maybe because if he has Tragic Slip, I can't see him like not casting a Tragic Slip on the Huntmaster.
Sure.
Right there. What do you think? Bluff? I can see Osyp, you know, it's definitely in his range to bluff. But I don't know. Oh, okay, there's a Tragic Slip. Yeah. All right.
All right. Yep.
All right.
So
Yeah. So I like that play. Definitely a tight play by Osyp.
Ravitz going to untap. Let's see what he draws for the turn. Looks like he may be looking for Bonfire this time.
Oh, Liliana. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much right now, Josh has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And a land in his hand to play.
Land, so he has 8. So Josh could just Bonfire for 2 and then play Liliana to destroy Osyp's entire board. That's probably the play right there, right? As long as he has a land?
I think he has the ability in many different ways to clear up the entire board here of Osyp's does Ravitz. So we'll see. I mean, first things first, you know, he's just going to attack here and put Osyp to a decision.
Yeah.
You know,
if you take it, you just lose the Bonfire.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, this attack for 7, if it does come through, it'll put Osyp down to 4.
Yeah, and then, you know,
and the Bonfire would be for 3, yeah.
Yeah, so next turn he could close it out.
Yeah.
Osyp doesn't really have any life gain that he'll be able to use. I mean, Sorin won't gain life immediately, so yeah, I think you want to just Bonfire for 2, play Liliana, and just pretty much close out the game right now.
And it looks like Josh agrees with you. So here's a Bonfire of the Damned. X equals 2. This is going to put Osyp down to 2 as well, which is certainly relevant. Osyp going to sacrifice the Cartel Aristocrat to the Falkenrath Aristocrat. Josh going to follow it up with Liliana the Veil, make him sacrifice, and Osyp is going to concede the game. So Josh Ravitz will be up a game here over Osyp Lebedowicz, Jund versus Act 2. And you saw there, Gerard, when you're able to cast 2 spells in 1 turn with the Jund deck, it's very hard to lose.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if Osyp should have just scooped right there. He could have drawn a Lingering Souls, made a bunch of blockers. I'm sure, you know, good chance he would have lost the game anyway.
Yeah.
But scooping there might be a little
premature.
Yeah, a little premature right there.
Something strange could happen where you know, he does just go kind of runner, nothing's funner.
Exactly,
but, yeah. You're conceding there. I mean, you can definitely take the time to take a draw step.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Maybe sometimes Osyp or any players might get a little bit frustrated. Might just kind of, you know, go to sideboard. Know you're probably going to lose, but still try not to concede. Just a little,
You can't hit that 1%er if you don't try.
Yeah, I think Wayne Gretzky said that.
Is that a Wayne Gretzky quote?
Pretty close.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Take a look at the sideboard here. Osyp's sideboard. He has 3 copies of Obsidian Ghost Count, so those are certainly going to be coming in here.
Okay.
Fantastic card against this deck, but Putrefy does change things a little bit about
it does,
yeah. So, you know, it's not the home run that it was before. It's just like a triple now. instead.
I could agree.
He has an additional Blasphemous Act in the sideboard, 1 Zealous Conscripts, an additional Cavern Missiles, 2 Luck Trickery, an Oblivion Ring, 3 Mark of Mutinies, and 3 Duress. So I think almost certainly you're going to see those Obsidians come in. And then outside of that, I mean, Zealous Conscript's actually quite good against this deck.
Yeah,
taking
I agree.
Thrag Tusk, taking an Olivia, and of course the Sacrifice Outlets with all 8 of the Aristocrats. That's certainly good here. Oblivion Ring's okay. It's not great, but it does give you a pretty clean answer to Olivia Valdarin, which is something this deck has trouble with. And then Mark of Mutiny could come in. Duress could come in as well.
Sure.
One thing that I have realized in this matchup with the Aristocrats versus Jund is that setting up Blasphemous Act plus Boros Reckoner is like almost impossible.
Yeah, so it's probably not even worth having in your deck. Maybe like a Miser's Blasphemous Act after board or something.
Yeah, I mean, Reckoner's still good against them.
Oh, yeah,
You're going to leave that in, but
yeah.
setting up the Blasphemous Act combo kill is very difficult to do because of all the removal.
Yeah, I agree with you. On the other hand, Josh has a couple of cards you could bring in. First thing that comes to mind right now is Tragic Slip.
Yep.
The best card that Osyp could play against Josh, as you saw, was Falcon Wrath Aristocrat. You know, it could come down, it could take down a Garrick, take out a Liliana, and just deal a lot of damage. Osyp's going to have a lot of small creatures to make sure it stays indestructible, but Tragic Slip will stop that. So definitely Tragic Slip wants to come in for Josh. As far as other things, you know, Vampire Nighthawk. Good way to answer Lingering Souls. Yeah, he has Bonfire of the Damned to answer it, but also Vampire Nighthawk, it flies, gains some life back. I can see him bringing that in as well. Duress, he doesn't want that. Mizzy and Mortars, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, it's just kind of a maybe. I think
Yeah.
that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Vraska, definitely not.
Yep.
Vraska's more for, you know, slower decks.
Yep.
Something maybe like Esper Control,
Pretty good in the mirror, probably.
Mirror, Blue, White, Red. You want to kill Assemble Legions.
Yep.
Maybe if they have a Witchbane Orb they're bringing in, that's really where Vraska shines. Pillar of the Flame, thumbs up. We could bring a couple Pillar Flames. Why not? Kill Blood Artist. Kill Aristocrat.
Kill Doom Traveler.
Kill Doom Traveler. So, you know, Josh is going to have a couple of cards he's going to bring in. Nothing too crazy that's going to really destroy Osyp, but Ravitz is just making his deck more streamlined to beat Aristocrats. That's probably the best way to look at it.
Take out the bad ones, bring in the good ones.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you look at how Josh played that game, he played it very well. The only play that I might have made differently would play the Garrick on turn 5, or well, essentially turn 4 because Josh had a Farseek. But if Josh did make that play, he would have lost his Garrick to the Aristocrat.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Sure, Osyp does have 4 Aristocrats in his deck, all right? But does he have it in his hand? If he doesn't have it in his hand, then playing the Garrick right there might be a solid play.
Sure.
But is it worth the risk? And Josh decided it wasn't worth the risk, and he made the right decision. So lots of times people might think, hey, Magic, you know, sometimes you play standard, you only have one decision a turn, blah, 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 but you don't. You have lots of decisions, lots of decision trees you could take, and Magic is such a complex game that it's common to make a lot of errors.
Yeah.
And when you
Which
do
might not even seem like an error.
Exactly. And when you do make errors, the best thing to do is not blame it on luck. You know, not tell your friends, oh, I multi 5, I multi 4, no way I could win. It's kind of analyze all your plays, talk to your friends. You know, honestly, for myself, when I got back into Magic more heavily, I started reading a lot of articles. You know, like, all right, well, you know, what's Kibler thinking about? What's Sam Black thinking about? What new deck is Chapin thinking of? So when you hear other people's thoughts, it kind of, you know, propels your thoughts as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's definitely really important.
We are being informed, by the way, that the Wayne Gretzky quote in question is, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
No, that's Wayne Gretzky's quote towards hockey. Wayne Gretzky actually started playing Magic after he retired.
Okay.
And he said exactly what you said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can't hit your 1%er if you don't try.
Exactly.
Gretzky quote.
Yeah, Gretzky quote.
He might be at the next. Open Series tournament, I heard.
I actually heard he's teaming with Johnny Chan and Mike McVeigh.
It's a good team.
True or false? All right. This is for everybody at home as well. Cedric, be honest. Answer this question honestly. Were they calling Johnny Chan and Mike McVeigh to come to the stage before we started?
True.
It's true.
True.
So
that happened.
It did. All right. So they started already. Osyp's going to take 2 life off his Godless Shrine and leaves off with the Doom Traveler. Doom Traveler, not really the most impactful card, but it supplies some type of card advantage.
It's better than it looks.
Would you call it card advantage?
I don't know what I would call it. I would call it, he's like a little helper. Like he facilitates a lot
helper.
of things that happen in the deck. And now there's a second one, so there's 2 little helpers out there.
All right, and Boros Reckoner or Falcon Wrath Aristocrat is the actual Santa Claus, and this is just like Santa Claus's helper?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly how it works. As you see Pillar of Flame take down a Doom Traveler, no token here because it does exile the card.
Yeah.
So see Doom Traveler kind of picks away a little bit, and then they kind of help each other out with the Blasphemous Act and and the Aristocrats a little later down the road.
Sure.
As Josh does draw a Bonfire of the Damned for his turn. Second time that miracling this would not be ideal.
I would really like to see, Liliana in the Aristocrats deck.
Yeah?
I feel like it would be good. Discard Lingering Souls, flash it back, just kind of more of a tool. Might be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe something to think about.
You see Josh has just played Rootbound Crag and does pass the turn back. So Osyp, he does have a Cavern of Souls in his hand. He also has an Obsidat in his hand as well. So you see him kind of taking a moment here to figure out what he wants to do on his turn.
Do you think Osyp's going to try to draw out a Putrefy before he plays the Obsidat, or no?
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be capable. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that or not. That's the question. And now you're going to see Cavern of Souls. We'll figure out what it's naming in just a second. Probably Spirit. Not sure though.
Yeah.
But here comes Falkenrath Aristocrat, and we'll see if Josh does have a Tragic Slip at the ready.
Yeah.
He does not.
Oh, is that a Bonfire?
This feels like a Bonfire.
Well, he names it Advisor.
Okay.
So pretty much wants to cast Obsidat. And there's a Bonfire for 2.
So a Miracle Bonfire that Dan puts on the stack here. Osyp going to sacrifice Doom Traveler to the Falkenrath Aristocrat. It's going to become a 5/2 because that's a human. The Spirit token will die, so no sense in putting that into play. Josh follows up with a Keswick Wolf Run, passes the turn back.
Yeah.
Osyp untaps. He's going to draw.
If he has a land here, this is going to be really good for him.
Yeah, it's going to be
just
very
go land,
hard.
Obsidat, yeah.
It's going to be super hard for Josh to win if he does have a land.
I mean, even if Josh's follow-up is something like a Thragtusk, it's not really going to be enough.
So there's your attack for 5 from the Aristocrat in the air.
Ooh, but
and
no
here's
land.
a Sorin, so no land, just going to pump out a token, which is important because it can't protect that Aristocrat.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all you want to do is protect that Aristocrat. So we're waiting on that Vampire token to hop into play.
Hiya.
Or maybe fly into play. I don't think it really hops.
Well, that Vampire doesn't fly.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you would think that it would fly.
Yeah.
Most vampires fly, but that one doesn't fly. It just has lifelink.
But like a fly, I don't know. It can't lifelink
How
into
about
play.
swoop?
It swoops into play. I like it. All right. So there's a Huntmaster. So Ravitz also short on lands here. Kind of interesting. Both players, tight on lands.
Yeah, I mean, whichever player draws the 5th land is going to be the one I think wins this game.
Yeah, but this definitely favors Osyp.
Yeah.
When both players are tight on land, the Aristocrats deck likes that much more. That's why a card like Liliana could fit nicely, because you have to discard some resources, discard some lands.
Now, Osyp drew his card very slowly this turn, which means he certainly has some things to think about. Josh just taps out for a Huntmaster of the Fells. Osyp certainly doing some math right now. You can see him counting a little bit. Yeah. And Gerard, one of the cards I think he has in his hand right now is a Mark of Mutiny.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that's what it is. So he's thinking, can I win right here?
Yeah.
Maybe he could steal that Huntmaster.
Make an emblem.
Yeah.
Get in here. He's
sacrifice the Huntmaster after combat.
Yeah. He's trying to figure out how much damage he can deal, because right now the Aristocrat in the air is a 5/2. Emblem will make it 6 damage in the air, so that would put Ravitz, we can say, a virtual 4 life just from the air attack.
Exactly.
And then he takes the Huntmaster. That gets +1/+1 from the mark. That makes it a 3/3. The emblem makes it a 4 power creature. So it looks like Ravitz, isn't going to die this turn, but Osyp is going to get a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly. And pretty much Ravitz's only shot right here is if he draws his 5th land and has a Thragtusk. So we'll see what happens. So Ravitz probably just has to block the Huntmaster.
Yeah, he's got to block the Huntmaster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like his only line right here.
And it looks like, I believe Osyp is going to be 1 point of damage short.
I think so too.
If he sacrifices the Huntmaster, the human, it's a human, so it's going to uptick the Aristocrat.
Yeah. So pretty much, I think Osyp could get Ravitz out to 1 life.
Yeah. So he's going to sacrifice here. I wonder if he sacrificed before damage or not.
No, it was after damage, because he wanted the wolf to die.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Ravitz should be at 2. Is that right? Yeah,
yep.
2. Okay. And there's a land, but it's a Blood Crypt, so he cannot actually cast the Thragtusk. Okay.
And he's going to pick it up. So Osyp does tie this up against Ravitz. Aristocrats Act 2 versus Jun go into a 3rd game. And you take a look at the sideboard yet again. We saw again from Osyp Obsidat in his hand, even though he couldn't cast it that game. Also saw Mark of Mutiny as well, cards that we felt like he was going to bring in. The question here is, what cards do you think he brought out? Because Sorin is still in his deck. I think it's almost certain the Blasphemous Axe is out now.
Yeah, I think he definitely got the Blasphemous Axe. We didn't see any Blood Artists, so I think, trimming those Blood Artists is fine as well.
And, Blood Artists is kind of like Blasphemous Axe in this matchup, right? And then it's probably pretty hard to set up.
Yeah, it's just, and just drawing an 0-1, for example, if Ravitz is on, even if he's on, 7 life or something, you draw a Blood Artist, you can't kill him in time, in 1 shot, for example, and then Ravitz just plays a Thragtusk, that eliminates all the work that Blood Artist does.
Yeah.
Because Osyp gaining life off Blood Artist is pretty much irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I think he cut maybe all the Blood Artists, cut the Blasphemous Axe, that's 7 cards right there, brings in 3 Obsidats, brings a Zealous Conscripts and 3 marks. That's 7.
Yeah, it's a 7/7 clean
You
swap.
know, if I was Osyp, I would definitely want to bring in a couple Duresses. I think they're really key in this matchup, especially if now that Ravitz is going to be on the play.
Okay.
You want to stop Ravitz's turn 2 Farseek. You want to slow down Ravitz.
So Duress is tough in this matchup, I think, because I think, you know, for Duress, it's very good in the opening turns of the game. Maybe turns 1 through, let's say turns 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Sure.
And then after that, it gets significantly worse.
I mean, it does, but Ravitz is still going to have Primal Hunter in his deck. So if Ravitz decides to play his Thragtusk on turn 5 instead of Garruk, Osyp draws Duress, maybe leads off with Duress before he plays something.
Okay.
Could snag the Garruk. Duress isn't great. I definitely agree with you.
Sure.
But it's okay. Maybe bring in 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, I don't think you want to bring in all 3. Maybe 1 or 2. Maybe hope you draw it in the right situation.
Exactly.
Because it can't be a backbreaker.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Miser's Duress.
Oh, here's a question, because this is a card, a new card.
Okay.
That Sam Black actually previewed over at Star City, and a lot of people have been talking
Oh,
about.
I know what you're going to say.
In Sin Collector.
Yeah, I think Sin Collector is a really strong card. That's not one of the cards that we talked about earlier, but I really think it's a strong card, and I'm surprised we don't see a lot of people playing it.
Okay.
Especially in decks that play Restoration Angel. That's just something nice. You know, Sin Collector next turn, Restoration Angel, get something else again, and it's still a body. It's still a 2/1. You know, it's not a Loxodon Smiter. It's not a 4/4 for 3 mana, but it has a nice ability.
I mean, are you surprised to see? Are you surprised not to see that here instead of, you know, would you rather have Duress versus Sin Collector?
You know what? I think if Osyp had a Sin Collector or 2, maybe he would bring it against Ravitz.
Okay.
It's slightly worse in some scenarios where you cannot take a Planeswalker, but lots of cards you want to take are something like a Farseek, you know. But again, you can't take a Farseek if you're going to spend 3 mana on the card. So it's tough.
There's definitely some give and take with that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. I like to see how the format plays out and see if Sin Collector, you know, makes it into a deck.
Both players taking a look at their openers. Ravitz looks
confident.
enough.
Yeah. I think Ravitz probably kept, especially since he's the one that's, you know, going first. So Josh keeps.
Yeah. Osyp pretty deep here in the tank.
Okay, and he decides to keep. So I'm really interested to see his hand and what he decided to keep. So it looks like he drew a land off his first card. It looks like he just drew that Blood Crypt. So maybe he kept the landlight hand.
Yeah. Ravitz does have the
There's
turn
a
2
Farseek, yeah.
So that's the thing, that if you're Osyp, you're probably hoping he doesn't have that.
Exactly. Especially when you're on the draw. That's why the Duresses are more important, because you want to stop that Farseek.
So
And if Osyp were to take 2 life to cast that Farseek, he wouldn't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an Isolated Chapel. Does he have a turn 2 play?
Let's see.
Doesn't feel like he does. I think he would have played it if he did.
Yeah. I think it would be more concerned about, you know, just getting into play rather than shuffling Josh's deck.
So no turn 2 play either. So we'll see what hand he gets. I mean, this is a hand that smells of, you know, Reckoners, Lingering Soul, Sorin, you know, his bigger high impact spells going to take a little while to get off the ground.
Yeah.
But while Osyp is trying to get off the ground, Josh is able to get a Hunt Match to the Fells and a Wolf Token into play.
Okay. Oh, and there's Orzhov Charm. All right, so that's a nice answer to Huntmaster right there. Sure, you lose some life. Sure, Ravitz gets a 2/2 Wolf out of the deal, but Orzhov Charm is able to kill it.
Yep.
And Osyp doesn't really matter, doesn't really care about the 2 life that he lost. So what would you do here, Lingering Souls or Boros Reckoner? What do you think is more impactful? Personally, I think I would go with Boros Reckoner here, but I know Osyp has both.
Yeah, I mean, he has both. I kind of want to go with the Reckoner as well.
Okay.
You know, the tough part is because he has a Sorin in his hand, you know, what game plan is he on? Is he on the game plan of cast Lingering Souls next turn, play Sorin, Emblem, get in for 4, try to race you, which probably doesn't seem ideal?
Exactly. I think the game plan he's on is try to make the game go longer, even though normally Aristocrats doesn't want the game to go long, but I think in this scenario, Osyp does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ravitz does take care of the Boros Reckoner with a Dreadbore, comes across for 2 and passes the turn back. You see Ravitz's hand, he has a Stomping Ground, a Blood Crypt, and an Overgrown Tomb in his hand, so he's got all the lands in the world.
Yeah.
As here's your Sorin, there's your Vampire, it's going to go up to 4, but he needs business, and he needs it now.
Yeah. Now, do you think Ravitz needed to use that Dreadbore on the Reckoner, or do you think he could have just kind of held off on it?
Probably could have held off.
Yeah, getting a 2 damage to the Wolf, not really a big deal. So now Ravitz is in a tough spot. Sure, he drew Huntmaster, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
So there is your Hunt Match to the Fells. Here's your 2 life. Here's your Wolf Token. Ravit's going to go up to 24, but Sorin is going to keep ticking up now, and it's very realistic, Gerard, for this card's ultimate to come into play now.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, his ultimate is just 6.
Yeah.
And after this turn, it's going to be on 5, so Ravitz is going to have to do everything he could to, you know, bring that Sorin down to 0 or as close to 0 as possible. So we see Sorin on the screen right there. 4 mana Planeswalker, starts with 3 loyalty counters, but it's one of the few Planeswalkers in Standard that protects itself.
Yep.
You know?
Not only that, it's one of the few planeswalkers in Standard where it's ultimate to get there. I feel like is very realistic.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna see Lingering Souls kind of flashback, and so now maybe we see Osyp here in defense mode. No, he's gonna make an emblem.
Oh wow,
so
that's
he's
awesome.
Got 4 2/1 tokens.
Yeah. And I think Ravitz, if he draws a spell, he might not be able to cast it because it's so important for him to flip that Huntmaster to kill Sorin.
Yeah, and the spell he drew was a Farseek, and he's more than happy to pass back. So there's your emblem in play. Huntmaster's going to flip into Ravager. It's going to take care of Sorin. It's going to take care of a Wolf token.
Now, why would you not swing in with those
a
wolves?
Spirit token.
Like, I think Ravitz definitely should attack those wolves. They're not doing anything at all there.
A little bit surprised at that as well, honestly.
I think maybe Ravitz got a little excited that he's going to kill a Sorin. Maybe he's a little nervous that, things are kind of looking bad.
I mean, one thing you also have to keep in mind here, too, is a player of Osyp's caliber, I think, he knows that, by making the play he makes of Lingering Souls flashback, put my Sorin or 2, that, like, he's inducing Josh to just pass the turn back.
Exactly.
Flip the Huntmaster, kill it, and he's like, okay, like, I know this is going to happen.
Yeah.
This is certainly within the realm of possibility for you to pass. Your Huntmaster flips into a Ravager, you kill my Spirit, you kill my Sorin, and I don't care about that.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe the faster Osyp plays, the faster Josh played, and Josh just... Because I honestly think those wolves should have got in, but we'll see if Josh had a game plan.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Now, Osyp's line right here, I do see a Falcon Wrath Aristocrat, and I wouldn't mind just playing it and just bashing him with everything right here.
Also has a Tragic Slip in hand, too. So he could go, Aristocrat, come in the air for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, come across for 11.
Yeah, this is really good for Osyp right here.
So the attack of 11 will put Ravitz on the 13. Tragic Slip your Ravager, the fellas. Take care of that, pass the turn back. And now he needs to fade a Bonfire the Damned from Josh or potentially Olivia Voldaren. This is a huge draw step. Josh draws a stomping ground.
Wow, okay. So I think Osyp's going to take down this match right here.
Yeah, because Josh is going to cast, probably is going to be that Farseek. He's going to put the land into play. He's going to play the Farseek. And we know, I'm almost positive that Osyp does have another copy of Sorin, Lord of Innistrad in his hand.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Another emblem,
and that's it.
Lethal attack.
Yeah, what is that, 14 damage or something?
I mean, more than that.
More? 15?
Yeah, it looks like, I think that's going to be 15.
15? Okay.
So there's your Sorin.
Yeah, Sorin doesn't even die. Osyp's like, all right, emblem, it's going to die.
No,
it
not
still
quite.
sticks around, yeah.
There's your emblem. There's an attack for lethal. So Osyp Lebedowicz, in what is perceived to be a pretty bad matchup, beats Josh Ravitz after a bit of mana flooding. 2-1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, game 1 he flooded out pretty bad. Game 2, Osyp had a great draw, and game 3, Osyp, you could tell